The following episode is explicit and is intended for mature audiences. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, it's Nathaniel Avila reporting from Dallas County, and I'm here with Clara Avila reporting from Dallas County.
Can I introduce myself?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
My name is Clara Avila, also reporting from Dallas County.
Good job.
Thank you.
So,
and welcome to another episode of The Devil in the Details. That's right, Nathaniel. It's all about branding. How are we going to get our name out there if we're not, promoting the brand? So you better sit yourself up and not roll your eyes at me.
I'm not rolling my eyes
but
at
I'm
you.
trying to,
You can't just say things that I'm not doing.
Well, it kind of looked like you were. Yeah. You bent over and you were like,
oh, you can't.
How dare she, assist in our brand?
So we got to a lot of cover. A lot of
That's right.
cover.
That's right.
Because we got to talk about a couple things. The first thing I think we need to talk about is the whole situation that happened recently with Joel Perez.
That's right. A lot of unnecessary backlash, I'd say.
Yeah, he has since kind of had to make a video on. I think Vivzy also had to make a post, but he had to do like a little video for GalaxyCon, saying that, like, hey, Valentino is just a character.
That's right.
I am not him.
Nope.
I am actually a good guy.
That's right. Some fans can be a little delulu. A little delusional.
Nice Gen Z.
You're welcome. Trying to get, trying to...
Yeah, it is.
Use the lingo.
It is what the Sigma
update.
Skibbity Riz, Ohio.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But some people cannot separate the actor from the character. And that's really bad because the actor is absolutely nothing like the character. And they're simply a really good actor and embodying the sort of more evil, villainous character.
Yes. I believe that Vivzy did have to come out on Blue Sky saying that please do not harass the cast. And I think she specifically was talking about Perez.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people are like DMing him, emailing him, whatever, saying like, you stink, how dare you be a abusive person, guy.
Except he's not.
He's only guilty of standing in a vocal booth and reading lines.
That's right.
So, yeah, remember, Valentino isn't real.
That's right. Valentino is not a real character. There are so many, and it happens quite a lot in, movies and films and TV, where a really good actor will portray a character that's like bad or abusive or evil, and they'll get hate for it because people can't see beyond the character and they can't see that this is like a genuinely nice person.
Like, isn't that what happened with Tom Felton?
That's probably happened with him. He's the guy who played Draco, right?
Yeah, he played Malfoy in Harry Potter.
That's right.
I could go on a whole tangent about Malfoy because he's a very like complex character.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that another day in our Harry Potter podcast,
which we do not have and we will not be starting.
Which we'll start right now. So top 10 Harry Potters. Go.
Harry.
Okay, that's one.
The owl.
That's not Harry. I said top 10 Harry.
Oh, you're right. Harry so
Potters.
the Harry portrayed by that one guy.
Robert Daniel Radcliffe?
No. When everybody else was being turned into Harry.
Oh, okay.
In that one scene.
Oh, in that one scene in that one movie at that one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, things like that. Also, I mean, there are other characters who have played, like, massive villains before. Like, we had, like, James Earl Jones playing Darth Vader, but he was more of a cartoony villain, I suppose.
Well, I'd say that these are very cartoony villains.
Yeah.
They're in cartoons.
Yeah. And there was also Ralph Fiennes who plays Voldemort, but, I mean...
I'll just say that there is very few reasons why you should be reaching out to these lovely people and sending hate towards them simply because they are playing a character.
Playing a character who's done bad things.
It
was a villain character.
It takes no effort to simply not do something like that.
Exactly. So please, Mr. Perez, we would love it if you came into our podcast.
That's not going to happen.
And say hello. And
we don't have clout.
You can call in.
I think.
And
how many listeners do we even have? Like 2?
Maybe. Do you listen to our podcast?
No.
Okay, well, with that attitude, how are we going to get anything if you're not even listening?
I think that very few people who have podcasts listen to their own podcasts.
Oh my goodness. So, like, yeah, you call in. We'll have a good old time.
This is not a call-in show.
Call in at our number 6969.
Yeah, 420.
6969.
Yep.
And we'll have a cool conversation. We'll love it to have you, Mr. Perez.
Sure.
So, next topic.
Yes.
Of business. Also, don't harass him, please. It's not nice.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Next bit. I don't know if we talked about this before on the show, but Vivzy has released the official character design for Abel.
Right, I don't think that we've talked about that
yet.
Yeah,
we have released the official character design for Abel, who, you know, from the Bible.
From the Bible.
From the Bible, he is known as a character who is Adam's son. Who was killed by his brother Cain. And that's it.
That's it.
That's all we know about him. So
pretty much, yeah.
In terms of the Bible.
Yeah.
In terms of Hazbin Hotel, that it really set the fandom on fire a lot, because people are now trying to like theorize and speculate how was Adam like as a dad, like the Hazbin Hotel Adam was like as a dad. How did he treat Abel and all that kind of stuff? Other people are saying that is Abel like Adam, or is Abel more nice and naive?
Yeah.
And other people are saying, kind of leaning more towards that, mainly because of how he looks. Kind of gives that off.
Yeah, but it's really hard to say based on only one picture.
Yeah, people are definitely doing that. And and also people are also speculating that Abel is like super nice, like a really nice person, and he's actually like gonna become very good friends with Charlie, and then Charlie's gonna be all like, "I'm sorry for killing your dad," and then she's all like, "What? I'll kill you now." No, I don't think he will do that.
That sounds very dramatic. And I don't think that's gonna happen either.
There are also people who believe that Abel is gonna be the one to inherit the Exorcist core, which kind of goes against the original idea.
I don't think so. I think Lute's still going to be the one in charge.
That Lute was going to, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, and you think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I mean, if if Abel takes over the Exorcist core, it would make sense that he would push. If he really is a more chill guy, it would make sense that he would push more towards the redemption narrative and side with Sarah.
Maybe.
And that's kind of what... Not Sarah,
Emily.
And it would explain why Emily is in hell trying to...
I suppose that could be one way that it could happen.
Trying to, tell him that redemption is possible after death. And he could be going under her things. But that's kind of where it is.
I don't know.
Abel. That also kind of comes into question about where the other members of Adam's family is. Like, where is... We haven't seen Eve yet.
Nope. No sign of her.
And we've only seen her in one. Some people are saying that Eve is actually Lilith. Some people are saying that she's Rue.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Another thing about Abel is that Abel is blonde.
That's right.
And people are theorizing that because of his blonde hair... He's actually Lilith's kid. Lilith's son.
I don't know. That could happen.
Mm-hmm. And that Abel is actually Charlie's half-brother. But I don't know how big that is. How that would...
We don't know how that's going to shake down.
So yeah, with Abel,
there's just not enough information. It's really all just theories and speculation at this point.
based on a single image.
And that's how fans go crazy.
Yeah, that also kind of brings the idea. The question is, how does the whole thing work? Because I know that in the show they established that Adam is the first winner.
That's right.
But Abel was killed
Before
Adam.
In the Bible. As we know, Vivzi is loosely basing certain things off the Bible, but ultimately she is creating her own narrative in terms of, how heaven and hell work and how everything has happened in the timeline. So it's possible that she's going to make things different. In this story, maybe Adam dies first and then Abel dies later. Or maybe, I don't know, Adam's just simply considered the first winner because he's just the first man.
Maybe, yeah. That could be also it.
Yep.
Also, people, I believe in the non-canon, it is established that in the show, in his official thing, in his official character design, Abel has a chip on his tooth. And according to the non-canon, the reason why he has the tooth was because he got it chipped when he fell to the ground after he was killed.
Ah.
So, and that also comes to the question, where is Seth?
That's right.
Which, for all my fellow Bible heads out there, what?
Nothing. Keep going.
Seth is the third child
son.
of Adam and Eve, who is supposed to be like the replacement son, to carry on humanity's lineage.
That's right.
Which I don't know how, because it was just him. Whatever.
There's a bunch of stuff that it's confusing, and I don't know enough.
Well,
about
we'll
it
have to
say
go into the
anything.
Book of Enoch, and I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah,
But
I'm not really interested in turning this into a Bible study.
Yeah. Well, the Book of Enoch
Well,
is
it's not the
apocryphal. It's apocryphal.
It's apocryphal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's apocryphal.
Apocryphal.
Apocryphal. Okay. So the also, we're also going to turn into what happened to Cain.
That's right.
Now, Cain, for all your Bible heads out there, is the was he the oldest? I think he was the oldest.
He was the oldest.
He was the oldest son of Adam and Eve. He then kills Abel because he was jealous.
I'm not my brother's keeper.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not my brother's keeper. When God asked him, like, where is Abel?
Yeah.
Well,
because his parents were always like, oh, you got to look after your brother.
Yeah, and then they tried to they had to give God a sacrifice, and God liked Abel's more than Cain, and then Cain got super jealous, and then he killed him.
That's right.
And then he killed Abel, and then as a result, he was cast to either
walk the earth forever or something like that.
Some people interpret that like literally that he was cursed to live forever and just walk the earth eternally, and with the mark of God on his face, so that no one would kill him, and then anyone who would try to kill them will get it back sevenfold.
Yep.
So I was looking into the what is it? The what?
I'm shaking my head. I don't know.
The non-canon to look into what's going on with Abel, and I looked up the page for Cain, and it linked to guess who?
Who?
The Dorks leader.
For those of you all who might not know or are perhaps not as into it, Dorks is in Helluva Boss. And they are the sort of government offshoot that look into things of supernatural nature. So, demons, ghosts, spirits, that sort of thing. So I'd say pretty interesting that in the non-canon, Cain is the one who is the leader for that.
Who actually becomes like Agent 1 in Dorks that we've seen in Helluva Boss. Which I don't know if Izzy's going to be doing that.
I don't know.
In the actual one. I know you said you don't want absolute zero over that.
I really don't.
But it would make sense that Kane would be Agent 1 in Dorks.
Involved in
Because
figuring out.
because he has experience in it,
he
and he's also
knows.
been around for a long time,
So many
and
years.
and we all know that he loves Japan, and
What?
yeah,
What's that? Japan?
yeah. Don't they use like Japanese weaponry? What? What's so funny?
I'm trying to figure out what that has anything to do with it.
Well, because they use doesn't Dorks use Japanese weaponry?
I don't know.
Yeah,
they
they
have
do.
one where they put them in suits, but that doesn't really mean anything. Doesn't
they
mean
have-
that he loves Japan.
You know, they have like katanas and like other like Japanese weaponry.
I don't even remember that.
Oh goodness, but yeah, and then but the only thing is that in the non-canon, Agent 1 has this giant scar across his eye, which is considered to be the mark of God.
Yeah.
But in Helluva Boss, we have a scene Agent 1 without his sunglasses.
Have we seen the other agent with other sunglasses?
Isn't Agent 2 like a girl?
Maybe.
I thought it was a woman.
So?
But yeah, Agent 1 has sunglasses on, but we've seen him without the sunglasses, and he doesn't have a scar.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
So let's see what Vivsy goes on with that. So what do you think, Clara? What do you think about Abel? We're gonna get some cool Abel action.
I don't know. I don't know how important he's going to be in the next season or the seasons after. I'm not really one to make speculations based on a single image. That's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I am interested to see what part he'll play in the whole grand scheme of things.
All right, let's continue what is known as
That's right.
we're calling the Shattered Stars storyline.
Part 50
Yeah.
of this thing.
So the last time we met our intrepid heroes, Stolas, Blitz, and Octavia escaped the Adolphus's palace in Cocytus during the extermination, and they're met with the exorcist outside.
That's right.
So here we go. As the horde of exorcists looms in the distance, their radiant weapons glinting menacingly, Octavia realizes they have no chance of escaping on their own. Her heart pounding, she gently lowers Stolas onto the frozen ground.
Because Stolas is deeply harmed.
Right. Her hands trembling as she retrieves a flare gifted to her by Izzy, I guess. She hesitates, knowing the kind of help, quote-unquote, the fair summons. But with no other options, she fires it into the dark sky. The flare's fiery streak pierces the night, illuminating the area. High above, Izzy, Rum, and Striker perched atop their mounts, spot
big
the signal.
three.
Yes. Everyone knows Striker,
Everyone knows Striker.
everyone knows Izzy, and everyone knows Rum.
I know Izzy. I know Rum for sure. Definitely. I totally know all three of those people.
Right. So Izzy's lips curl into a twisted grin. Ah, there it is, he says, his voice dripping with malice. Our invitation to the party.
There we go. I was looking for it.
What?
I was like, he's going to do an Australian accent, right?
Yeah, he's
Even though you
Australian.
said in it, which isn't Australian.
Oh. Back in the ground, Octavia slings Stolas' arm over her shoulder once more, her determination unwavering. We need to keep going, innit? She murmurs, half to herself, half to her father.
Terrible.
Her steps are labored, the weight of Stolas and the urgency of the situation pressing down on her. She pushes forward, trying to push out as much distance as possible between them and the palace. But their escape is short-lived. With a sinister wave of his hand, Androphus summons a towering wall of ice that encircles the palace grounds. The translucent barrier glows faintly, casting an eerie light on the trapped pair. Octavia's heart sinks as she realizes they are completely surrounded. Androphus descends gracefully from above,
Gross.
landing in front of them with a triumphant smirk.
Ugh.
His cyan pupils glow with icy malice, and the snowflake-like tail feathers of his full demon form fan out behind him, and an imposing display of power. Did you really think you could escape me, dear brother? Is that how he talks?
Terrible. No.
Okay. Did you really think you could escape? How does he talk? Did you really
think you could escape me?
Oh, did you really think you could escape me, dear brother?
There we go. That's really good.
There's nowhere to run in it.
Yeah, really do that head motion.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
It really gets you into it.
That's how you get into the character.
Yeah.
Okay, so Octavia turns to her father, panic in her eyes. Dad, you can't find him. That's how she talks, right? Oh. Look at you. You're hurt, and he's in his full demon form. You'll Stolas cut her off. His voice soft and resolute. Fia. Is that how he talks?
No.
How does he talk?
He's like, Fia.
Fia.
Yeah.
He whispers, placing a trembling hand on her shoulder. Fine, Blitz. Stay close to him. He'll protect Ayua. Did I get the part?
Yeah, you got it.
Yes.
You're in the fan comic.
Oh,
dub.
I'm in the fan dub?
Yeah.
Okay, let's steal it without their permission. Okay, let's do it without their permission. Okay, so tears well in Octavia's eyes as she shakes her head. I'm not leaving you. Not like this, innit?
Stop saying in it.
Isn't that that's her catchphrase,
right?
No. Okay. Stolas pulls her into a brief embrace. Mm-hmm. You're strong, my star. Stronger than I ever was. Trust me, and trust yourself. He pulls back, his eyes meeting hers with a flicker of warmth, desire, despite the dire situation.
Wow.
Go, fish. How deep. That's so deep, right, Clara?
So deep.
So, reluctantly, Octavia takes a step back, her heart breaking as she watches her father rise unsteadily to his feet. Stolas straightens his posture, ignoring the searing pain in his body, and turns to face Androphus. His gaze is unwavering, his determination unbroken. Androphus chuckles darkly, nyak, 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 spreading his arms in mark invitation. What's this? The broken bird thinks he could fight? His smile twists into a sneer. Come, brother, let me show you what true power looks like. Stolas says nothing, and focuses entirely the enemy before him. His feathers bristle, and his remaining magical energy begins to crackle faintly behind him. Despite the overwhelming odds and the crushing weight of his injuries, he takes a defiant step forward, prepared to face Androphus in the battle he knows he may not survive. What are your thoughts?
Just dramatic. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay. So the battle between Stolas and Androphus erupts into a dazzling spectacle of cosmic power and icy fury. Stolas summons the celestial might of space itself, creating
Did Stolas
gravitation.
get his powers back?
I guess.
When did that happen?
Off screen, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, creating gravitational fields and meteoric explosions, while Androphus counters with his chilling mastery of ice magic, conjuring massive glaciers and razor-sharp shards that slice through the air. The palace trembles under the ferocity of their clash, their attacks colliding with bursts of energy that illuminate the icy walls. Androphus, with a cruel grin, launches a deadly barrage of ice shards at Stolas, each one sharp enough to pierce through magical defenses. Stolas braces himself, his body glowing with the remnants of his strength, and at the last moment he manipulates gravity. The shards freeze midair, their momentum halted. With a sharp motion of his hand, Stolas reverses their trajectory, sending them hurtling back towards Androphus. Ah! The icy demon is caught off guard, narrowly deflecting the shards, and Stolas seizes the opportunity to press forward. But the victory is short-lived. Stella, lurking in the shadows, channels her own ice magic.
Stella's not dead yet?
Yeah, Stella's not dead yet.
Dang it!
And conjures a massive icicle beneath Stolas. It erupts from the ground, impaling him through the back.
No, Stolas!
Stolas gasps, blood just staining his feathers as his siblings advance, united in their malicious intent. Any last words, dear brother, ain't it? Androphus sneers. His hands glowing icy and with icy energy before Stolas can respond. Octavia steps forward. Her body trembling, but her gaze fierce.
She's got this view.
You will not hurt me, Dad! She declares, what's so funny? It's not funny.
It's funny when you say
What
it.
did I say?
When you say, you shall not hurt me, Dad!
That's what she says. That's what she talks, right?
I'm terrible.
That's how she talks, right?
No, it's not.
She declares her voice steady despite her fear coursing through her.
Yeah.
Don't you feel silly now?
No, you feel silly.
No. Androphis smirks at her defiance. So be it, innit? She says coldly, raising his hands alongside Stella. Together they unleash a devastating blast of ice magic, a deadly force aimed directly at Octavia and Stolas. But then something extraordinary happens. As the attack races towards them, Octavia raises her hands, her fingers glowing with a vibrant azure light. A mystical glyph materializes before her, shimmering with protective energy. The blast collides with the glyph and dissipates harmlessly, leaving everyone stunned.
Oh my gosh.
Octavia ignites with ethereal blue flames, and her eyes glow with untapped power.
Yes.
You messed with the wrong family, innit?
That's right.
She growls, her voice filled with determination. And then, with a shout, she retaliated, summons this explosion of stardust that cascades towards Stella and Androphis. The force sends them reeling, and Androphis Stolas still impaled, but standing tall, watches in awe. Vaya, he breathes, his pain momentarily forgotten. You're incredible. It's so funny. It's not funny. So Octavia glances at him.
And then she goes, you left me for him.
Get out of my face!
I don't want to talk to you right now.
Octavia glances at him, her fiery resolve unwavering. We're not done yet, innit? She says, her voice firm.
She's just really downgrading the entire experience
Ow!
by constantly adding in it after the end.
That's a catchphrase.
Is that the only way that you can do this bad accent?
That's a good accent. So, father and daughter stand side by side, their powers converging as they launch a joint assault.
Yes.
Stolas manipulates gravity to hurl massive chunks of debris at their enemies, while Octavia summons waves of stardust and bursts of celestial energy. The battle you can't say that. The battle intensifies as the room shaking under the sheer force of their combined might. Stella, enraged by the sudden turn of events, lunges at Octavia with her knife, but Stolas intervenes, using his magic to hurl her backward. Androphis counters with another icy barrage, but Octavia meets it head-on, shattering the shards with blast of stardust. Oh, gee.
Nice.
The tide of the battle shifts as father and daughter prove to be an unstoppable duo. Their bond strengthens with every attack.
Then he dies.
Their powers harmonizing with a display of overwhelming strength and resilience. Together they turn the tide, determined to end this confrontation and protect each other at all costs. So yeah.
Yeah.
High above the confrontation in the courtyard, Izzy, Stryker, and Rum creep through the shadowy corridors of Androphis' palace.
Finally.
Their movement calculated. They reach the balcony overlooking the intense battle below. The sight of Stolas and Octavia fighting against Androphis and Stella catches their attention, and Stryker, ever the opportunist, seizes his moment, raising a blessing-tipped rifle. He lines up a perfect shot to eliminate Stolas.
What?
Is that why Octavia called them?
No!
Before Stryker can fire, Izzy intervenes, slamming the barrel aside. Not yet, Izzy says sharply. What?
Not yet.
That's how he says it. His tone commanding. Stryker glares at him, but before their argument can escalate, their presence is discovered.
They gotta kill the other people first.
Yeah. IMP comes in.
Let's go!
Ever Vigilant springs into action. Blitz charges towards Izzy, while Moxie barrels after Stryker. Meanwhile, Luna, with a feral growl, leaps at Rum, engaging at him in a brutal, no-holds-barred fight.
Get rid of Rum. He killed Serpentius.
Right.
In this version, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what happened.
As the skirmish unfolds, Luna bites down hard, tearing off Rum's remaining arm, leaving the demon incapacitated and howling in pain. Izzy, realizing the situation has turned dire, abandons his comrades and vanishes into the palace's labyrinthine walls.
Of course he would.
Blitz, in hot pursuit, has left baffled when Izzy seemingly disappears into thin air. Frustrated but determined, Blitz returns to the balcony, where he and Moxie subdue Stryker, rendering the assassin unconscious with precise teamwork.
Nice.
Luna, you good? Is that what he talks? Blitz calls out.
That's good enough.
Looking around. Luna raises a bloody thumb, rum dangling from her jaws like a chew toy. Her grin speaks volumes about her vicious skirmish, even as she casually spits him out. Blitz nods in approval, muttering, "That's my girl." Me. Brandon Rogers.
No.
So, in the courtyard, Octavia, her face hardened with icy resolve, channels her newfound powers.
Yeah.
She conjures jagged tendrils of ice to trap Stella, ignoring her mother's panicked pleas for mercy. "You wanted to destroy my family," Octavia says coldly, her voice devoid of emotion. "Now you'll pay for it."
Finally. Kill your mom. She sucks.
No.
Kill her.
With Stella immobilized, Octavia rushes to her father's side. Together they prepare to confront Androlphus, their unity unshaken despite the overwhelming odds. Androlphus, however, proves a formidable adversary. His mastery over ice magic surpasses anything they've encountered. And he quickly overpowers them. With the wave of his hand, he conjures a towering icy prison, trapping Stolas and Octavia within the icy cage. Clara-sama.
It's pretty lame.
As Androlphus gloats, his arrogance blinds him to the danger lurking above. From the palace rooftop, Izzy takes aim with a blessing-tipped rifle. The shot rings out, striking Androlphus squarely on the abdomen. The icy demon stumbles, clutching his wound, his strength visibly faltering. Faltering, I said. Seizing the opportunity, Stolas and Octavia summon their remaining power, shattering their icy bonds. The members of IMP join them, forming a united front against the weakened Androlphus. Blitz, rifle in hand, exchanges a determined look with Stolas, their mutual understanding evident in the tense silence. As the group prepares for their final stand, Octavia glances upward and spots Izzy, perched on the palace roof. He meets her gaze, salutes with an icy, sly grin, and vanishes into the shadows. Confused but hopeful, Octavia assumes that he has departed, leaving him to finish the battle on their own.
Probably not.
Androlphus, now cornered and desperate, taps into the depths of his power. "You think you've won?" he sneers, his voice echoing through the frozen courtyard. "Let me show you what true despair looks like in it." Raising his arms, Androlphus unleashes a cataclysmic ice blast.
Ooh.
What?
I said ooh.
Yeah. And I ooh?
And I ooh.
I don't get it. What is that supposed to mean?
Just ooh. Like, he's...
Yeah, I know. Like, what is that?
Do you want me to explain myself?
No, like, what is that? What does that meme even mean? What is that from?
I don't know.
So, the courtyard transforms... Oh, wait, no. So, he envisions a cataclysmic icy blast and an explosion of frigid energy that freezes the very air around him. The courtyard transforms into a frozen wasteland, the temperature plummeting as frost encases everything in its path. Stolas, Octavia, and the test of the group charge towards...
The test of the group?
Yeah, the rest of the group. Charge toward their combined efforts aimed at striking the final blow. But they were too late.
No.
The ice blast surges outward, freezing the entire courtyard in an instant. Stolas and his allies are caught mid-motion, their forms encased in a crystalline frost. What did you call me?
I said in ice.
Yes.
I didn't call you anything.
Locked in this chilling stasis, Androlphus stands at the corner of the frozen expanse, his breath labored but his expression triumphant. Ah! For a moment, the world is eerily silent, the battle suspended in time. But beneath the ice, a flicker of determination remains in Stolas and his allies, their frozen forms radiating the faintest traces of magical energy. The confrontation may be at a standstill, but the fight is far from over. Are you suspended?
Yes. I'm in suspense.
Are you in suspense?
I am suspenders.
Are they gonna get defeat Androlphus?
Maybe. I know that at the end of this, Stolas is going to die.
Okay. So,
because that was mentioned in a previous episode
right.
about his like whole vision of him dying and like Via holding him in his arms and stuff. We talked about that before.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that he is going to die
Right.
by the end of this non-canon story.
And then Charlie is like, I hate you!
And then Charlie says that I hate you forever and you're going to go to jail.
I'm mean Charlie now.
I'm the Charlie that doesn't believe people can be better.
Yes. Now, as Androphis surveys the frozen battlefield, he breathes deeply, basking in his perceived victory.
And then coughs and dies.
Magnificent, he murmurs, a euphoric grin spreading across his face. My very own winter wonderland in it. He strides through the icy expanse, his gaze fixed on the frozen forms of Stolas, Octavia, and IMP. His mind teems with sadistic ideas on how to finish them off, each more gruesome than the last. Perhaps I'll start with the imp, he muses, circling Blitz's frozen form. Or maybe dear Octavia should witness her father's demise first, innit? His voice is light, almost musical, as if he's planning a work of art. But his hubris, Androphis steps into a concealed glyph, cleverly hidden beneath the snow by Stolas' foresight.
Gasp.
The moment his foot touches the sigil, an intense gravitational force activates, crushing down on his legs with unimaginable force.
Oh.
A sickening crack echoes through the courtyard as his legs snap, folding grotesquely beneath him. Arrgh! In it! Stolas screams. Clara?
Stolas screams.
No. Androphis screams.
There you go.
He says arrgh in it. What?
Does he really?
Yeah.
I think you might be adding some of that.
What the
I don't know if all this flavor text is necessary.
Hey, what flavor? What are you talking
You
about?
know, random stuff.
I'm not adding random stuff.
You really are.
Like what?
Like the word in it.
So he says it.
No, he doesn't.
So he collapses to the ground. His elegant composure shatters as he rises in excruciating pain,
Good.
crawling at the icy surface in the futile attempt to free himself.
That's what I'm talking about.
What is this in it? He growls, his voice a mixture of fury and despair. The glyphs hold him firm, his legs rendered useless. He can do nothing but watch as time resumes its natural flow.
You guys hear what I have to deal with?
What?
Every day I ask him, please don't do this. Please, can you just maybe refrain from doing this one thing, please? And then he just still does it.
I'm just reading the thing.
You're not. He doesn't say in it at the end of every sentence.
Okay.
None of them do.
So anyway, he can do nothing but watch as time resumes its natural flow.
Mm-hmm.
The frozen tableau thawing before his eyes, Stolas, Octavia, and the members of IMP stir back to life, the moment slow and deliberate as they regain their bearings. Androphis' triumph dissolves into a full-blown breakdown. He screams, echoing through the courtyard as his enemies begin to rise. No, this isn't how it ends, he snarls, subtling every ounce of his waning power. A furious blizzard erupts around him, the winds biting and ferocious. You will all pay for this! In the midst of the chaos, Blitz raises a blessing-tipped rifle, his eyes narrowed with a murderous glint.
Kill him.
He steps forward, leveling the weapon on Androphis' head. You think you can mess with us and walk away? He growls. Not on my watch. Brandon Rogers.
It's really bad.
It's good. But before Blitz can pull the trigger, Stolas steps in.
Whoa!
Placing his hand on the barrel of the rifle, lowering it, Blitz glares at him, confused and angry. What the heckers are you doing, Stolas? He deserves this. What?
I really don't think he says heckers.
Stolas' expression, calm and resolute, meets Blitz's gaze. He does, he agrees quietly. But we don't stoop to his level. Not for him, innit? Blitz hesitates, his finger twitching the trigger, but Stolas' words sink in. With a reluctant sigh, he lowers his rifle. Fine, he mutters, but if he tries anything, he's done.
That's right.
What do you think, Clara?
Kill him dead.
No, they decide to spare him.
Oh, I thought Stolas was like, I'm gonna kill him a different way.
No.
I guess he's sparing him. All right, okay, fine.
So what do you think? Why do you think? Do you think you agree with that? Stolas letting Androphis live, or not have Blitz shoot him in the head?
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes being the better person doesn't really help you out in certain situations. Also, we're in hell, so...
Meanwhile, Androphis' rage reaches a fever pitch. "You sanctimonious fool, idiot!" he screams, summoning a power wave of icy fury. The blizzard intensifies, swirling violently around them. Stolas stands firm, his voice unwavering as he addresses his half-brother. "Enough, Androphis," Stolas says, his tone calm but commanding. "This ends here."
Snap his neck.
Androphis snarls, his icy pupils glowing with fury. "You think you're better than me, Stolas? You're nothing! A failure! A disgrace!" Okay. "Enough, Androphis," Stolas says. Oh, wait, no, I already said that. Stolas takes forward, unfazed by the storm. "I am many things, Androphis, but I will not be a murderer. Not like you. This cycle of hate, of cruelty, it ends with me."
Wow, it's really nice, Stolas. I know that you're going to die.
The winds begin to subside, Androphis' strength faltering as his injuries and exhaustion. What's up with the cat?
She's laying down. She's relaxing.
Okay. I will scratch the belly.
She doesn't want that.
Why?
I can assure you.
Why?
It's a trap.
Why is it a trap?
What do you mean?
What is she gonna do?
Probably run away.
Okay. So the winds begin to subside, his glare remains, but his attacks grow weaker. The blizzard dissipating into a light flurry.
Flurry?
Yeah, I'm a flurry. A slight McFlurry.
Ah.
Stolas, standing tall despite his own wounds, watches as Androphis finally collapses, broken in every sense. Octavia moves to her father's side, her icy powers flickering as she places a protective hand on his arm. Together, they stand against the fallen Androphis, a testament to resilience and unity. Blitz, Moxie, Millie, and Luna regroup. Their weapons are ready, but their expressions grim. For now, the battle is over, but the scars left behind will not be forgotten. Stolas glances at his daughter, offering her a faint but proud smile. "Let's go, Via. This place has taken enough from us, innit?"
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Now, as the group begins to leave...
You.
begins to leave, Androphis, broken from form, remains behind, his icy domain reduced to ruins, his triumph shattered by the very family he sought to destroy.
Got his comeuppance.
Yes. But as Androphis' psychotic rage consumes him, he refuses to accept defeat!
No!
Raising his trembling hands, he channels the last vestiges of his power into a devastating blast of magical ice aimed directly at Stolas!
Ah!
The attack, raw and unhinged, display of his fury surges toward like a tidal wave of frost and death. But before he can reach Stolas, Octavia steps forward, her hands glowing with azure flames as she summons a protective glyph. The magical barrier flares to life, catching Androphis' attack midair. Sparks and frost collide in a chaotic symphony of energy, and Octavia strains against the overwhelming force. Stolas watches with a mounting horror as the energy of Androphis' relentless assault begins to condense into a massive incandescent sphere against Octavia's glyph. The ball of energy pulses, growing more unstable with each passing second. Stolas' panic rises as he realizes the catastrophic danger therein. "Androphis, stop!" Stolas shouts, his voice desperate. "You'll destroy us all! Enough, innit?"
I'm done.
It's getting really spicy.
I'm over it.
You don't think you think they should have killed Androphis to have it?
Well, I definitely think they should have killed Androphis, but I mean that I'm over you.
No! But Androphis, blinded by his unrelenting fury, cannot hear reason. He screams of rage echo across the courtyard as he pours everything into the attack.
This is what happens when you leave an arrogant person alive.
Right. "You will all pay for humiliating me!"
Exactly. Pride. Hubris.
Right. The energy ball reaches a critical mass. With a deafening roar, it detonates in a massive shockwave. The explosion ripples But oh yeah, the
Can you read? Are you okay?
ripples outward, obliterating the icy walls around the courtyard and sending everyone hurling backward. Stolas and Octavia are thrown to the ground, and the members of IMP are scattered like leaves in a storm. The once pristine palace courtyard is reduced to a chaotic frozen wasteland. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, and?
As the dust and frost settle, Blitz groans, pulling himself upright. His eyes land on Stolas, who lies motionless amid the wreckage.
Oh.
With uncharacteristic concern, Blitz rushes over, extending his hand to help him up. "Come on, big guy," he mutters. "You're not done yet." Brandon Rogers.
He's probably done. He's probably done.
Stolas, wincing in pain, takes the offered hand and rises unsteadily to his feet. Around them, the rest of IMP slowly regains their footing, bruised but alive. Not far away, Octavia stirs, groggily blinking as she takes in her surroundings. Her gaze falls on the towering ice wall Androphus had conjured around the palace, now fractured and weakened. As she approaches the wall, she notices a figure slumped against its edge. It's Stella.
Stella!
Her mother, bloodied and disoriented, having been violently propelled through the wall by the shockwave.
Yeah.
Stella's icy veneer is gone, replaced by desperation. She reaches out weakly toward Octavia, her voice trembling. "Via, help. Please, help me. I'm your mother."
That doesn't matter. Kill her. Murder her.
Octavia stops, her expression unreadable as she stares down the woman who had caused so much pain. The years of mistreatment, manipulation, and cruelty flash through her mind. The betrayal, the hatred, and that's right, the indifference.
Yep.
It all culminates to this moment. Stella's hand trembles in the air, waiting for a lifeline that will never come. Without a word, Octavia raises her hands, her ice powers flaring to life. She begins to repair the breach in the wall, the icy barrier sealing itself with elaborate finality. Stella pleads grow frantic as she realizes what her daughter is doing. "No, Via! Don't do this! I'm your mother! You can't leave me out here!" But Octavia's heart has grown cold.
This is why you're nice to your children, guys.
Her stern glare.
Sooner or later. Don't roll your eyes on me. I'm trying to do something.
Okay, so what is it?
I'm saying sooner or later they're going to leave you outside in an icy wall.
Right. But Octavia's heart has grown cold. I already said that already.
You said that.
Her stern glare never wavers as the wall finishes bending, trapping Stella outside with the approaching exterminators.
Right, so
Their angelic weapons gleam ominously as they close in on the helpless Stella, her screams fading in the distance.
Because for some reason, the exterminators have decided that it's fine to kill Hellborns now.
As even Goetia.
Even Goetia.
Yes. So Octavia turns away from the wall, her face impassive, but her steps heavy. She rejoins her father, who watches her with a mixture of pride and sorrow. He understands the weight of the decision she has made and the strength it took to make it. Without a word, Octavia takes his hand, and they begin to walk away from the ruins of the palace. Blitz and the rest of IMP follow, leaving behind the shattered remnants of Androphus's quote-unquote winter wonderland and the ghosts of a family broken beyond repair. Isn't that sad, Clara?
It's very sad. I'm crying right now.
So what do you think about the death of Androphus and Stella?
I think it's very well rewarded.
Even though Stella was killed off camera by exterminators?
Yeah, that's fine. Honestly, don't give Stella the time of day.
Okay.
Don't care about that.
So
I'm satisfied just knowing that she's gonna die.
Okay. Do you think Vizzy's gonna do that in the actual show?
I don't know.
I doubt it because it can't
Probably
be exterminators.
Not. Yeah, probably not.
Because they already established that they can't kill Hellborn.
I don't know if she's gonna die, but something should happen to her.
Okay. So the battlefield is silent, save for the faint crackle of shifting ice. Stolas and Blitz make their way to where Androphus lies, broken and defeated. The once proud demon lord now writhes in agony, impaled by jagged shards of ice in a pit that is both his creation and his undoing. Blood stains the icy spires, and his ragged breaths fill the air with an unsettling chill.
Very poetic.
Blitz approaches with his blessing-tipped rifle, but his movements slow as he takes the gruesome sight. Well, ain't this poetic?
No.
Nah, Brandon Rogers.
I just said that.
That's how he talks, right?
No.
He says Brandon Rogers at the end?
Yeah, no. Everybody who's British says, isn't it, after everything that they say, and then Blitz specifically says, I'm Brendan Rogers, after every time he
After
speaks.
his lines.
Everybody knows this. It's common knowledge.
Okay. So, Blitz, he has his usual sarcasm laced with discomfort. Stolas gazes down at his half-brother, his expression a mixture of exhaustion and sorrow. Despite everything Androphus had done, the cruelty, the betrayal, the torment, Stolas cannot help but feel a pang of compassion. This has to end, he says, his voice steady but tinged with regret. He's beyond saving and beyond suffering. Blitz gives a slight nod, raising his rifle. You sure about this? He asks, glancing at Stolas. The Goetia prince hesitates, his eyes lingering on Androphus's broken form. Yes, he finally whispers, his voice barely audible. It's time.
Shoot him.
Blitz doesn't hesitate further. With a sharp crack, kapow! A good shadow goes through the icy expanse. And Androphus falls silent, his struggles finally at an end. The sound reverberates for a moment before fading into an eerie stillness. As if into his response, the icy structures of Cocytus begin to crumble. The towering walls of jagged spires and shudder, shedding shards of frost, and the frozen palace collapses in on itself. Blitz slings a rifle over his shoulder, glancing at Stolas. Well, that's one less psycho in hell, he says, his voice carrying a touch of grim humor. I guess you're free to do whatever comes next. In it?
Stupid.
Oh. So Stolas walks back to the ruins of the palace, each step heavy with the weight of all that has transpired. The memories of Androphus' torment, Stella's betrayal. Oh, the betrayal, Clara.
So much betrayal.
And his own near-death experiences swirl in his mind.
He will die.
Right. The pain of everything they've lost lingers in the air, but there's also a faint glimmer of hope. Among the rubble, Octavia stands alone, her silhouette framed by the fractured remains of the battlefield.
Wow.
She doesn't notice Stolas at first, her gaze fixed in the horizon, lost in thought.
She is the future.
Right.
The younger generation.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, so her hair, slightly disheveled for the ordeal, catches Stolas' attention. He hesitates, then offers an awkward attempt at normalcy. Your haircut, he says, his voice cracking slightly. It looks a lovely. Octavia turns, her expression unreadable. The silence between them stretches, the weight of their shared pain filling the void. Finally, Stolas sighs, his shoulders slumping under the burden of his guilt. Via, I'm sorry, he begins, his voice trembling, for everything, for letting things get this far, for not telling you about my prophecy. I thought I could shield you from it, but I failed. I failed you in so many ways, and also the affair thing. But before he can continue, Octavia moves. She rushes towards him. Her arms are stretched and throws herself to his embrace. Her tears fall freely as she clings to him, her sobs muffled against his chest. Dad! She cries, her voice trembling. I don't care about any of that. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're alive. What? It's alive.
I know.
Stolas freezes, stunned by her sudden display of affection. Slowly, he wraps his feathery arms around her, holding her tightly as his own tears begin to fall.
And then Izzy comes up from the shadows and shoots him.
Maybe, I don't know. Slowly, yeah. So for the first time, what feels like eternity, the gap between them closes. The bitterness, the fear, the pain, it all fades in the warmth of their embrace.
That's so sweet.
Oh, I love you, Via, Stolas whispers, his voice raw with emotion. I'll always have, and I always will. Oh, I love you too, Dad, Octavia
Yeah.
applies, her voice muffled with their vent of conviction, full of conviction or whatever. They stay like that for a long moment. The ruins of the palace crumbling around them. Despite the devastation, there is a sense of peace, a bittersweet resolution to the chaos they've endured. Together, they found solace with each other. Their bond reaffirmed in the face of loss and hardship. But on the balcony,
Yeah, I knew it.
so overlooking the devastated courtyard,
Yeah.
Stryker.
Oh, it's Stryker.
Yes. Groaning as he slowly regains consciousness.
He's gonna shoot Stolas.
His vision clears just in time to witness the emotional embrace between Stolas and Octavia. It's a rare moment of tenderness falls below, but Stryker's attention is drawn to a sudden shift in the air. A chilling presence materializes beside him.
No, there's Izzy.
It's Izzy.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, Izzy draws a blessing-tipped rifle, its barrel aimed squarely at Stolas. His movements are swift and calculated, giving no time for alarm. Before anyone can react, a deafening shot rings out!
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
Shattering the fragile piece. The bullet strikes Stolas in the neck! And
Brutal.
he collapses into Octavia's arms, blood pooling rapidly.
Yep.
Octavia's scream pierces the air, filled with
I don't think
horror
she
and
sounds
despair.
like a turkey when she does it. So.
Okay. She goes gobble gobble.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to get turkey off the menu. No, that was my favorite movie.
What was that? Free turkey?
No, it's Freebirds.
Oh, free birds.
My favorite part is when the ship goes, oh my, because that was from Star
George
Trek.
Takei.
Because that was from Star Trek.
Yeah, that guy.
Because it reminds me of another piece of media that's better.
Yeah.
So, her
Anyways,
tears falling.
Stolas is dying.
Yeah, her tears falling freely as she desperately tries to stouch the moon. Stolas' eyes flutter weakly, his breath shallow. On the balcony, Izzy smirks. His satisfaction evident. Calmly, he lets the rifle drop into Stryker's hands, framing the disoriented assassin for the assassination. You're welcome, lady.
Of course he does.
Izzy mutters mockingly before activating his invisibility and vanishing from sight. In the courtyard, chaos erupts. Blitz, his face contorted with rage, tracks the shot's trajectory, and his eyes locks on Stryker!
Now he's gonna kill him. But he doesn't know that it was actually Izzy!
Who now holds the incriminating weapon. You son of a... Blitz snarls, leveling his own rifle at the assassin. Stryker, wide-eyed and scrambling to comprehend what just happened, barely manages to dodge as Blitz fires. The shot grazes his arm, and he hisses in the pain, but there's wastes no time fleeing the balcony. With practiced skill, he leaps from the edge and disappears into the labyrinth of the crumbling palace, evading Blitz's vengeful wrath. Get back here! Blitz roars, his voice echoing as he traces towards the balcony, desperate to catch the escaping Stryker.
No, but you have to protect Via.
Meanwhile, Octavia sobs over her father's clenching him tightly. No, this can't be. This can't be happening, she whispers, her voice trembling. Stolas struggles to speak, his blood staining both her hands and his feathers. She lifts a weak hand to touch her face, his lips forming a silent words as tears stream down his cheeks. Dad, stay with me, Octavia cries, refusing to let him go. The members of IMP, still reeling from the southern attack, converge on the scene. Boxing Millie scan for threats while Luna kneels beside Octavia, her usual stoic demeanor cracking as she murmurs, "We'll fix this. He's not gone." But the reality of the situation is grim. Stolas' breathing grows weaker, and the group is left to grapple with the devastating consequence of Izzy's betrayal and the chaos he unleashed. And that is where we'll end it for today.
Wow. For today? There's more?
There's more.
Oh my god! How many episodes are we gonna do on this non-canon story?
Do you want to push through and finish it?
Yeah, I would like to push through and finish it. I mean, I don't mind doing another episode of it, is what I meant by that.
You don't mind doing another episode of this?
No, it's fine. Like, if we wanna stop, if this is like a good stopping point, for this episode, then we can continue later.
I think so, because there's
still a lot more.
No, there's only a little bit more, but it's enough for its own episode. It's we're at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's do a little thing. What do you think about
recon?
this? Yeah. What do you think about this storyline so far?
I mean, I think that it is interesting. I definitely am enjoying it. I like the suspense and the peril. There's definitely a good amount of fighting in it. It's not overdone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of Stolas dying.
Okay.
But I already knew that was going to happen in the non-canon based off of in our previous episodes where we talked about his prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
About him, dying in his daughter's arms.
Do you think that Vizzy would move some of this into the canon?
Well, I think she already has.
Yeah.
I mean, in that last episode, the Sinsmith episode, where they have that whole battle with Androlphus in the wintry courtyard.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of that takes stuff from this.
Right. But in this one, Octavia sides with Stolas instead of going back to Stella.
Yes, because I think that in this one, more has happened for her to still have that love and that loyalty to her father, as opposed to in what's going on in the canon right now. Octavia has not had time to come to terms with and realize that her dad does love her, and that he isn't doing all of this in a way to choose someone else instead of her. I think she hasn't had the time or the opportunity to really be able to talk to him about it.
Right.
And work things out. And even though she had the time once she was out of the castle and they had finished beating up Androlphus and they could have had a conversation, she, is a teenager, so she gave into her strong emotions and was like, "You don't care about me, Dad," and left him out there.
Yeah. But Androlphus wasn't defeated for good, though.
No, not for good.
So
that wouldn't make any sense.
Do you think that the way he was defeated in this non-canon, do you think that would work in the canon? Where Stolas just tells Blitz to shoot him in the face.
I think that would be entirely too serious.
Why?
Because Helluva Boss is still meant to be comedy.
Oh, I was laughing my head off in the last episode.
That's the thing. Yeah. Is that it's teetering.
Okay.
And it's a very unbalanced teetering.
My favorite part was when Octavia said, "I hate you, duh!" And I was laughing my butt off.
You don't misconstrue what I'm saying right now, okay?
Yeah.
There are still funny moments. There are still moments where they're trying to have comedy.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's unbalanced.
Yeah.
And it's teetering between that comedy and that sort of more serious drama that Vizzy is trying to bring in. Because, obviously, some things can't rely fully on comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. The non-canon story that this is pulling from is super dramatic.
Okay.
I see that there are those little moments of comedy, but it is more serious. I think that if Vivzy wants to keep Helluva Boss a more silly show, maybe bring in more comedy as opposed to the drama that's happening, I think that it would be way too much for it to be kill him.
Okay.
Unless it was done in a comedic way.
I don't see how that could be, because he was dying
Exactly. He's
on the floor.
Dying on the floor.
And Stolas was we'll give him a painless death or a quicker death.
Right? That's super dramatic.
By having Stolas shoot him in the face.
I think that's for me. I think that's just too much.
Okay, how about how Stella got her comeuppance?
I think that's also pretty serious.
About Octavia shoving her to the Exorcist.
I think that they both should have more comedic deaths if they are going to die.
I mean Octavia, yeah. So, what should it be then, except those?
Or I'm not an idea. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah. So
It's not easy to think about a silly comedic death.
like so
I guess like Androlfus like falling on one of his own spikes and dying. That could be funny. That could be done in a funny way.
yeah, that could be funny, but that'd mean that kind of anticlimactic. But I guess it could be done
Maybe.
like out of his own hubris.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the thing. Out of his own hubris, it just simply falls on his own spike and dies.
Yes. I don't think that Stella getting shoved to the Exorcist would work in the canon because we established that he couldn't do it.
Instead of dying, honestly, I think Stella should be thrown in prison.
Okay.
I think she should have like a torture prison situation.
Okay. So there's that.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do that? Like the Sins?
That maybe. I don't know.
Because they seem very light on the Goetia.
They do seem very light on the Goetia. In which case, a torturous, prisonous existence for her would be to be stripped of any power that she has and thrown into the streets.
Okay.
I think that's what should
like
happen.
undercover boss style.
Undercover boss style, exactly like that. Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty much where that is, and then there's also you got anything else?
Oh, well, I mean, there's the whole situation with the 3 assassins.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So what do you think about like the whole thing with Izzy and
really
framing Stryker?
I really don't think that anything like that's gonna happen because we haven't even seen Izzy or this Rum character.
Yeah.
We've only seen Stryker, and Stryker has been reduced to a bit character.
Yeah, I don't think Stryker can be taken seriously enough to
Not
actually
anymore.
kill Stolas.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But I can buy Izzy shooting him, killing Stolas, and then framing Stryker.
I could buy that. However, I don't want that to happen because Izzy is Cherry Bomb's dad, and I don't want any overlap.
Okay. Not even like related characters?
No!
Okay.
I don't want it!
Okay.
It might happen, and that could be against, and I'd have to deal with it. But if it's up to me, I wouldn't want any.
Okay. So that's pretty much what it is. And then we also got Rum. He got killed by Luna.
That's right.
Very...
Well, his arm got ripped off.
Oh,
I don't know if
if
he's actually dead.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at on this storyline.
That's right.
So do you liking the storyline? Good?
So far, I am enjoying it.
Is it better than the Green Wedding?
Yes, because as I have mentioned many times before,
Yeah.
there's too many fights.
In the Green Wedding?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's it for today. I've been Nathaniel.
And I've been Clara.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, the kingdom, evil exists, and many more.